Let us close our eyes. With deep love, let us think of God. Let us chant Om 3 times together. Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Gurave Namaha. I bow to God. I bow to all the divine incarnations. I bow to all the masters of all times and all places. I bow to my beloved Gurudev. I bow to all of you and the entire creation. This week or this weekend, we all have come together to celebrate Sri Gurudev's birthday. To be very honest, Sri Gurudev in the beginning did not like any celebration on his birthday. He did not like any book to be written on him. This is what I observed. Staying near him. In the early years, even after his realization and his spiritual attainment, he was not coming out. He was more introvert. more into his own state. If I remember, one person who had some difficulties. He came to Sri Gurudev. He heard about him. And Sri Gurudev was at that time a brahmachari. It was in 1950s. As we all know, Sri Gurudev is a very, very kind-hearted person. When he heard about his trouble, he told him to do something and assured him that your trouble will go away. And that happened. That person came back to Sri Gurudev and he told Sri Gurudev, you are a light to me, but you are keeping yourself away from others. And not only that, the ashram where you live, it is also full of darkness. Full of darkness means not that spiritual light is not there. There was no electricity. You can imagine how Sri Gurudev lived. The person who was talking all this, his problem was in his job. He was an electric engineer serving under the government. He requested Sri Gurudev, if you kindly allow me, I will get the ashram electrified and get connection of electricity. All these things, I take the full responsibility as a humble token of my gratitude to you. This is how he lived. In 1950s, Sri Gurudev was already the Acharya of Kodar Ashram and also an Acharya of Kriya Yuga. He was head of the Kodar Ashram and also, but he was not a monk. He was a brahmachari. Since he joined the ashram, he lived, he came from a very affluent Bengali family. He had his own job, a well-paid job. He had his freedom from every way. Freedom means where you want to go, you can go. What you want to spend, you have money. Young man, fashionable Bengali young man. I tell fashionable for this reason. Sri Gurudev told me how many pairs of clothes he had, and he brought all those to Puri. And he's coming to Puri to live a life of sadhana, but he has brought all these. So, giving up all such freedom, comfort, and luxury, living in an ashram which had no breakfast, no provision of breakfast. And as I told you, it was no electricity. And it was 1938. And lunch and dinner, very simple food. And the rice, major food, staple food is rice. That was also a mixed rice. You will tell, what does it mean? Ashram had a school, preschool, but the children used to bring some rice from their home to give in the school. So different families, different types of rice, all mixed together. And I don't know if you have ever experienced, those who are from India or those who have taken food in any ashram where they live on begging. I have many times experiences because there are till now also ashrams who survive on begging. They beg. So when you go to beg from door to door, different qualities of rice and mix together, some rice, fine rice, some rice, coarse rice, some rice will be cooked quick, some rice will be cooked late. So all cooked together is a horrible rice. And having some lentils and even potato was a luxury and delicacy. It was once in a while, not every day. And he lived in ashram with this type of environment. He adjusted himself. He brought little change in ashram with his personal contribution. And the in charge of the ashram, you cannot imagine. I know because I have experienced it. You'll say, how did you experience? Because I met the in charge of the ashram personally, and I have seen how he was with me also. In his extremely old age, living in Haridwar, in Bholagiri Sannyas Ashram, Pujya Swami Shivananda Giri, he was the ashram in charge when Sri Gurudev joined ashram. Without any reason, just seeing at first sight, shouting. That's what I encountered. I went just to bow to him, that's all. To see, because he lived in Kodar Ashram, he was there when Sri Gurudev joined, and he also in some way was a good protection for Sri Gurudev from others to disturb him. So he was protecting also. So just I wanted to bow to him, and he started scolding without asking anything. I could imagine a person in his late 80s or 80s shouting like this, because I was in 1980s. It was in 1983, 84. So he must be closer to 90 maybe, because Gurudev is born 1907. However, I could imagine how Gurudev lived with this person. You might have read from Sri Gurudev's biography that Sri Gurudev, while staying in ashram, when he joined the ashram did not have any boundary wall, any fence, nothing. Just 2 blocks of houses Still now they are there at the beginning and in the middle. Those two, first beginning is one-storied house, that was Vidyapit, the school. The next was another two-storied house where the Swamiji, Gurudev, few others lived and few. So that's all. And it was barren land. You cannot walk barefoot because of wild thorns. What Sri Gurudev did in the beginning when he joined the ashram, you see, we speak of seva, seva, seva. Seva is not, we sit down, we decide these are the works, these are the, you will do this, you will do this, you will do this, you will do this. This is not really seva. This is duty. This is not seva. You will tell what is seva. Because when we stay in some place collectively in a community or together, we share activities, so we take some responsibility. So this is duty. As a resident of the ashram or members of the family, seva is that which comes from the heart spontaneously to do it for everybody's good without any expectation of appreciation or anything. That is what seva is. I have been reading the Ramayana. Lord Hanuman is in my front as the real ideal of seva. However, let us come back. What Sri Gurudev first did, he wanted to make a, in the ashram where Yukteswarji's body was buried, you know, he left his body in 1936. Sri Gurudev joined in 1938, little more than 2 years after his Mahasamadhi, Sri Yukteswar's Mahasamadhi. That place was also just a little straw roof, small construction, open. A mount of sand. If anybody could go there, offer a little flower, otherwise nothing. There was nothing. As it was all open, it was playground of stray dogs. And I don't want to tell more. First, what Sri Gurudev did as his seva, apart from his own meditation time, he wanted to change this place a little. So he made a fence of cactus. In Odisha, Bengal, normally it is green hedge fence. So it is also a little thorny, and it will grow once it is having roots, and it stays permanently for years. So less maintenance. Only to make it a little more organized, you can put bamboo clamps, putting bamboos to two sides together and tie it, so they become. So then he wanted to do, because there was no exact measurement of the property. Nobody knew where is the boundary. Nobody, during those days it was there, open. Then what he wanted to do, he wanted to make this place, because it was it was not a plain land. Those who have gone there, they might have seen there are steps. It is not flat. So what he wanted to do first to make this thorn free. The thorn was one wild herb, which has also medicinal value. It begins growing in monsoon, survives for few months. It has yellow flower, and the flower becomes the fruit. Fruit means thorns. It is just like a tiny fruit with many thorns. And that's all. That dries and drops. That is filled. What Sri Gurudev did, he, during monsoon time when it is just growing up, hired some one or two people, those who can help Gurudev to root out all these weeds. Sri Gurudev told it took 3 years for him every year during monsoon to make the property free from these thorns. A simple message from this. Our life, we all are like trees. Are we thorny tree or not? Are we affecting others in a negative way or not? Just like thorn pricks. Our words, our thinking, our behavior. Sri Gurudev is telling it took 3 years to keep this property free from these thorns. If we want to change our life, it is in our hands, Sri Gurudev said. And change is not instant, it takes time. Because again and again we have to no. Sri Gurudev loved garden. But it is all sand. Just to bring you to another example, in 1970s, not 70, in 70s, maybe 74, 75, exact year I'm not in my memory, when he got this Balighai property, which is now Sri Hariharan, the Gurukulam, it was all only sand, that's all. Barrens, not even trees, it was all barren piece of land, only sand. And closer to seaside, so this sand is also not, there are two kinds of sand. Seaside sand is saline by nature. River sand is non-saline, which you can use in construction. But seaside sand, or even up to the Balighai Ashram's property sand, it is not good for using in construction. The building will not stay longer because of the saline content. When Gurudev was moving in the property, this is the beauty of the masters, and which we do not realize initially. They have their own vision. To tell you again another incident, when Sri Gurudev wanted to transfer that property, it was not he wanted, he got the message. It was in 1995, December, first week, maybe 5th of December. Exact date is not in my memory. Sri Gurudev was in his room. I was in a small room adjacent to his room. Early in the morning, maybe around 4:30, and Gurudev had his typical way to call me. He would not call by my name or Bappa or Baba, please come, or he will not call by name. I knew that he's calling. He will just call, for example, he's here. 305-247-1960. Hello, hello. 305-247-1960. Hello, hello. The telephone number, he's uttering telephone number of this place. And this is the way he calls. So I went to his room, bowed down early morning. I looked at him. If he needs something to be done, he said, you sit down. I sat down. He told, do you know, I dreamt of Sri Yukteswarji. It is what he's telling. I dreamt of Sri Yukteswarji. He is telling me to transfer Balighai property to your name, my name. What do you think? What should I think? If your guru is telling something to you, and it is you to think, why should think? What do you think? I looked at him. My eyes were little watery. I told Baba, I don't think of property. Gurudev is my treasure and wealth. Nothing is needed. Property is trouble. Why do you tell like this? Do you know? He spoke, what will happen there, what will happen there. He went on talking all this. I was not really interested in all this. I told Gurudev, really, I'm not interested. I bowed down to him and left. And that day I was also leaving for a program. But he told what will happen, he told, and that was the end of our discussion. So when Gurudev got this property, he's working with few disciples. Among them, some people working in big position in horticulture department, agriculture department, Gurudev's disciple. One is no more, one is still alive. They were there. Gurudev said, we'll have mango garden. We'll have coconut garden. We'll have this. He was just, they said, Baba, they will not grow here. Cashew nut, coconut will grow. And tropical needle trees. And nowadays government is encouraging eucalyptus, acacia, all these imported trees to be from Australia and all this to be planted. They will grow. Mango and all these. Gurudev spoke about sapota, chiku. He said, it will not grow. Gurudev said, Bappa, I am telling all will grow. This is the vision of Gurudev. Why I gave this example? We don't accept it because we stick to our own limited knowledge. They are beyond. So when Gurudev lived in Kodar Ashram, he had his vision. I have come here. I could not live too long to serve my Gurudev in ashram life. Although my Guru wanted to come and join here from the first meeting, it happened when Sri Gurudev met Swami Sri Yukteswarji, and there was discussion, astrology, Gurudev's astrological chart. He looked at Gurudev's palm even. He told Gurudev, you have destiny to be a monk. So Gurudev said, I am not prepared for it. He said, it is an astrological chart. Sri Gurudev said, my father is also a good astrologer. He never told this to me. He said, your father did not tell because you are his son. And if he tells you, you might be a little rebellious, telling that I want to marry. That's why he didn't tell. Ordinarily, children, they don't accept parents' words. However, Sri Gurudev did not join ashram during the lifetime of his own master, but he joined later. So Sri Yukteswarji told you, go and live in Kodar ashram. There you will get your spiritual progress and everything. But Gurudev was not prepared. You know, the insecurity. Gurudev told me, it was first the feeling of insecurity. He told, even if I joined in ashram, I did not leave my job. I was on sick leave. Because you have to stay longer, so it is easy to apply for sick leave. And every few months, with a doctor's note, he was sending letter for the extension of leave. This is what Gurudev was doing in his early time, even in living in ashram. So, however, it's a common thing. We are human beings. We live in, for example, ashram. There might be some insecurity, some fear. What will happen? What will happen? Can I survive? Can I stay here? Can I endure? Can I? This type of feeling comes. What will happen if something happens? What shall I do? So, however, Gurudev wanted to serve. What I was telling, that he wanted to serve. So what he did, he wanted to return, because in monsoon time, because of rain, there is no wall to protect even the sand. So he wanted to make small area with little retaining wall made of bricks. And he did it. Mostly he did by himself. Sometimes taking help of others. But you see, in the name of sadhana, in the name of meditation, he did not neglect or waste his time, because body needs some activities and there is need for some seva. I will do it. And apart from that, ashram gave the seva, which I told as duty. He taught in ashram school, as a teacher, grammar teacher, music teacher, mathematics teacher. He taught mathematics, he taught grammar, and he taught singing also to the little kids. And little yogasana. That was his duty, not seva. That was his duty, and seva was this. And then meditation. Because many have some idea that he stayed in silence and seclusion. It was not, he stayed in silence, but he was teaching. Only teaching time, talking, rest time silent. He meditated, but he also did extra hours of working to develop. And he did it. Apart from that, because ashram did not have so much of financial support, whoever lived in ashram, for everybody to have little breakfast. Breakfast means not something, just a small bowl full of puffed rice. That is the breakfast. And Sri Gurudev paid He paid, he said, we all will have little breakfast and I will take care of it, whatever is the... So Sri Gurudev lived and served and did his duty and his meditation. We are from family, for example, we have our duty as job. So you can tell in the school, Gurudev had a full-time job. It was school for little children. And he had his seva, you take care of your family. Gurudev took care of the ashram's property and was doing seva. For his life is for example for everybody. And no neglect in sadhana, and he did it. Till I came and sat here, I did not think, because my mind is more in Hanuman and some to Gurudev. Then when I sat, I thought, okay, Gurudev's birthday time, to think of him, to think of his life and his activities, what he did. I don't know how many of you have read his life. By God's grace of Sri Gurudev, we have quite a few, not too many, but quite a few books on his life, and read it. Read it again and again. And that will give more strength to your own sadhana, because if you really understand your or our Guru and our real guide, reading again and again, it helps to. In the ashram property, there were 2 casuarina trees, tropical needle tree, and it was in the middle. Gurudev wanted to cut it, and he did cut down. Swami Shivanandaji came. At that time, Sri Gurudev was not there. He saw there is so much of work going on, no positive compliment, and he saw these 2 trees are cut down, and he was shouting. And he scolded Gurudev like anything. How did you dare to cut down these 2 trees? Who gave you authority? Could you not get little courtesy, little to ask me? Go bring 2, not small sapling, bigger plants, and replant. No food today. And Gurudev obeyed. No reaction, nothing. Not to justify that for this garden or to make this and I did this. Just silently. He was narrating near me. Those who have gone to Puri or those who have seen, he walked from Kodar Ashram to Loknath temple, nearby Loknath temple, where one could find these trees, and he himself carried from there to Kodar Ashram under sun, and he planted it and went and bowed down to him, begging apology. At that time, he had already cooled down. But Gurudev told he was very short-tempered, but next moment he cools down. And that I saw also. The next moment, when he heard that, who am I, why I have come to him, he cooled down. He come and sit down and so on. He was like this. But first is, this is how Sri Gurudev lived in ashram, how he began his sadhana, and how he progressed. You just think, Swami Sri Yukteswarji no more in physical body. Paramahansa Yoganandaji in America. Swami Shivanandaji, who is the ashram in charge, he is like this. Swami Satyanandaji is in Ranchi. Nobody to help, nobody to motivate, inspire, nobody to guide. And he did sadhana. Telling this, again, question to all of us. Are we not more fortunate, more blessed than Sri Gurudev? The environment in which he lived and the opportunity which we have, just to think. And what he did and what we are doing, he took things in a very positive way, not thinking he's doing like this, I'm doing something good, he's doing this, not critical, not seeing or to judge or to react, nothing. Do you know, life of sadhana is a life of endurance, titiksha. You just think, there was no electricity. When Sri Gurudev joined in ashram, there was no bathroom. There was no tap water. Electricity, I told you. And just to tell you, there was no refrigerator till mid-80s. No refrigerator. There was electricity. I was telling somewhere, the fan in Sri Gurudev's room, I was telling recently somewhere, somebody wanted to replace it because it was too old. And Sri Gurudev told Bapa, that fan is my old friend. Don't replace it. It is not working. It is just moving like this. So he said, that is good. Sudarsana Chakra. Gurudev told, the fan, this fan, Sudarsana Chakra. That is good. He didn't want to change it. Life of simplicity, life of adjustment and accommodation, life of non-reactive, life of endurance, that is the life he lived during his early years. Sri Gurudev was born on which date? 27th May 1907. And we know or we heard or we read that was also full moon day. Because many of us we don't do, if anybody will go and do little research, he will think that it is contradicting. And also Gurudev sometimes told, because he was born on Sunday and his name became Rabi. Rabi means son. And all these informations are from mouth of Sri Gurudev. You will tell then what is happening. If you do some research, you will find 27th May is Monday. But that is full moon. Then how it is, 28, 27th, 28th. 27th is Sunday. 28th is Monday, full moon. Gurudev was born on Sunday night, Monday morning. Sunday night, Monday morning. And as it was before sunrise, wait. I don't want to make again you confused. It is, I'll see and then tell you. It is Sunday night, Monday morning, it is clear. He was born. And that is full moon, that is, you'll tell them Monday morning means after midnight the date changes. But in Vedic calendar, the date doesn't change. In astrological calculation, the date changes with sunrise. The day begins with the sunrise, not the day begins at midnight. So that is why there is one, if one does any research, one should not be confused. So all are true. Sri Gurudev left his beloved Bengal and came to Puri. It was also the full moon day in the month of June. The date I will tell you tomorrow maybe. Which date? 12th. He's telling 12th June. But it was full moon in the month of June because he reached Puri on the day of Snana Purnima, the bath ceremony of Lord Jagannath. So Sri Gurudev did not speak of the calendar date. He said, I reached Puri on 1938, Snana Purnima day of Lord Jagannath. He told this. Again, to come back, when Sri Gurudev came to Puri, he did not join ashram immediately. He stayed in a rented house adjacent to Kodar ashram. And this rented house was organized by his friend who came to Puri before, who has little knowledge of Puri. And Gurudev requested him, can you go and find where Kodar ashram is? And can you find a rented house for me closer to Kodar ashram? And that friend did it. And not only that, that friend was also staying there in that rented house for some time till Gurudev came and joined, lived there. And to tell you, when Sri Gurudev said you can go to Kodar ashram and ask somebody who can give some information of nearby home which will be good house to rent. And that friend met one old Swami who told that I know Rabi, and here is the house. The caretaker of the house, his address is here. He gave the address. Go and contact and you will get this house on rent. And this was done. And this friend of Gurudev did not know who this old monk was. From the roof of that house, one can see Kodar ashram. So when Gurudev and his friend were standing on the roof in one evening, and Swami Sri Yukteswarji was walking in the darkness of evening in the property. Gurudev saw his Gurudev in physical body walking, he called his friend, my Gurudev, who has left his body, but he's walking, you see, come here. He looked at him, he said, what? He's the one who told me that I spoke with you. You can imagine, he really was on the verge of collapsing because he was thinking that he spoke with a departed person. In our language, we'll tell a ghost. And this is how Sri Yukteswarji, he was bringing Sri Gurudev and to do his work. As he told, and his words were true, when Sri Gurudev was narrating all this and he was telling, this happens in the life of this seeker, unable to accept the words of the Guru with complete humility and surrender because, again, of fear and insecurity. Sri Gurudev was telling, do you know what happened with me? It was nice when I stayed with him and we were alone. He talked, I don't know why, he was talking about many things of his life. Something I can tell, something I will never tell. Never, never. It is below throat. It will never come out of my mouth, ever. But he spoke. He spoke. I was in the beginning thinking, why is he talking all these things to me? But now I realize why he was talking. And to tell you about his, as I am telling about his biography, and he was not interested, he first time showed his little interest. I will tell another incident and then why I did know that he did not want his biography. I was a witness of an incident. A disciple whose name I will not take, who wrote a book on Sri Gurudev in Odia language. And he got it printed without Sri Gurudev's permission. It was something about Sri Gurudev's life and his time with Sri Gurudev, etc. Nobody was in the room except me and the author and Sri Gurudev. I was the silent witness. I was young. I was not in my 20s. Gurudev, holding that book, he threw that book like this. He was expressing his complete displeasure. And who told you to write all this? Half lie, half truth. And this is your respect to your Guru? Burn these books. Never give this book to anybody. Nobody should see this book. He was shouting, never write on me. I never saw Gurudev in this type of, since that day, I understood he didn't want. It was in 1998, in the month of August, I was for a program in Chicago, got a telephone call from Sri Gurudev. He was in Vienna. Already, new ashram in Vienna was found, and so he called me and he told me, Baba, I read the new soul culture. I said, yes, Baba. You have written an article on Swami Satyanandji. I said, yes, Baba. He said, it's a very nice article. I kept quiet. Then he said, in this article, you have taken Hariharananda's name only 2 times. I kept quiet. Is it not good to write something more about he and me? I said, yes, Baba. He said, it is a short article on him, so it is all right. You did not write more about me. I kept quiet. Then he changed the topic. That was a telephonic conversation between Sri Gurudev and me, Vienna and Chicago. September beginning, maybe 4th or 5th of September, I reached Tattendorf for the opening ceremony. And the same evening, in Sri Gurudev's room, few things happened. First thing happened, he told to start one organization and its name will be Pragyana Mission. It was that day. He told not to write his name, nothing to do in his name in the organization for many reasons. He told. Second thing, in course of conversation, I asked, can I ask Sri Gurudev one question? He said, yes. Gurudev should not be unhappy. He said, no. I said, Baba, nowadays Gurudev is not traveling. And people, those who come to see him, they see him. Others, they don't see, they want to hear from us. We speak something what we know, but is it not good to write something on Gurudev? He said, hurry around, no need. I said, Baba, it is not for Gurudev, not for me, but for the disciples. You want it? I said, I don't want, but it is for the need for the disciples. He agreed. One thing I told, Baba, there was a small book published in Bogota long ago. It was in English, also in Spanish, I think. Hariharanda, the Supreme Kriya Yogi. It was a small, thin book which contained some writings by different disciples, how they saw Gurudev, their own experience. And just to write a little more, he agreed. That was the day he agreed about writing on him. I was really excited. My mind started thinking how to work, how to write. And just to tell you, that was the planting of the seed to think on writing on him. And the book was written completely by end of October, and it was during our trip to first time trip to South America, to Bogota and to Brasilia in Brazil. And I didn't ask anything to Gurudev. I just told the Swamis who were here, they said, why you are in such hurry? Should it be done so quick? I said, in September I talked to them. I said, no, just I'm telling, at least you will write one article, how you met Gurudev, your experience, because I wanted to make the book because I never thought how the book will come out. So the book will have in itself the same volume in 4 parts. His life, short biography, how people saw him, how I saw him, and some of his teachings. So it will be in one. That was my original structure of that book. Anyhow, the book got published, printed in 1999, and the book was to be released on his birthday. 1998 became the last year of Sri Gurudev going out of USA. Till 1999 May, it was planned, ticket was booked, he will fly to Vienna on his birthday, hall was booked, everything was arranged. Just 2 days before his departure, he said he's not going. So I thought, he's not going, I'm not going. He said, you should go. You can imagine how painful it is. So we'll make a pause. Today we'll discuss tomorrow about him and his life. And let us close our eyes. With deep love, let us think of Sri Gurudev. Let us pray to Sri Gurudev. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord said, Janma karma chame divyam. My life and activities are divine. The Lord says, O Gurudev, your life and activities are divine. I am your child. Help me and teach me to follow your footprints, to transfer my own life, to be your worthy child. I bow to you again and again. I bow to God. I bow to all the divine incarnations. I bow to all the masters of all times and all places. I bow to my beloved Gurudev. I bow to all of you and the entire creation. Let there be peace, progress, and prosperity everywhere. Om. Amen.